So what is criminal procedure? So criminal procedure is the whole process how to conduct arrest, how to file information in court, like during preliminary investigations, how to determine probable cause that person is really guilty the crime he or she committed, and how the court presides over the cases. Next is what is the difference between criminal law and criminal procedure. So criminal law defines the crime and their penalties, and criminal procedure is the whole process on how to convict criminals. And there are many rules stated in criminal procedure, like the rule 113, how arrest was made, or rule 112, how preliminary investigations made by the prosecutor. Next is what is jurisdiction. So jurisdiction is where the state has the whole power and authority to enforce the law. Like for example, if there is a crime happened here in Davao City, so the Davao City Police Office has the power to act and solve it. Next is what is jurisdiction over subject matter. So if cases are filed here in DOJ 11, so the RTC 11 has the authority to preside over the case. Next is what is jurisdiction over territory. So jurisdiction over the territory is where if the person commits a crime here in Davao City, so the RTC 11 will preside in the case. And next is what is jurisdiction over the person of the accused. So jurisdiction over the person of the accused is whenever a person commits an act which violates the law of the land. So like for example, a person commits a crime here in Davao City, so the information may be filed in RTC 11, and the RTC 11 has the jurisdiction over the person. Next is what are the cases cognizable under Katarungang Pambarangay. So the cases cognizable under it is only minor cases, like those cases that only sentence arresto menor, like for example ordinance, city ordinance, and any cases sentence is only arresto menor. Next is what are the cases cognizable under MTC, MTCC, MCTCC, RTC, Court of Tax Appeal, Sandigang Bayan Court of Appeals, and Supreme Court in their original jurisdiction. So first, let's talk about MTC, MTCC, MCTCC. So those cases they handled is only cases under 6 years and below. Example of it is prison correctional, arresto mayor, and arresto minor. So example of it is malicious mischief and any. Next is RTC. So RTC presides over cases whose sentence is 6 years and 1 day and above, like prison mayor to reclusion perpetua. So example of those cases is homicide, which sentenced 12 years and 1 day to 20 years, or murder, which sentence reclusion perpetua 21 years and 1 day to and above. Next is Court of Tax Appeal. It handles cases involves tax, like under taxation law. Next is Sandigang Bayan. It handles cases where public officials or high-ranking officials are involved, but it depends on their salary grade. If their salary grade is below 27 only, so only the regional trial court or RTC will handle it. But if above 27,000, so the Sandigan Bayan will preside over it. Next is the Court of Appeals. So Court of Appeals, no, whenever the convict questions the decision coming from the RTC, so the Court of Appeals will preside over it and review the decision of the judge who presides the case, but only within 15 days. Within 15 days, the convicted person should file it, and after 15 days, if he or she didn't file it, so the decision of the RTC is over. Next is Supreme Court. So Supreme Court is the highest court, so it also serves as a review court, and it has its final decision over the case. So if whenever the Supreme Court has its decision, it will never break, never become new. Next is what are the cases cognizable under MTC, MTCC, MCTCC, RTC, Court of Tax Appeals, Sandigang Bayan, Court of Appeals, and Supreme Court over their appellate jurisdiction. So if if the decision of the MTC or the lower court, so if the MTCC cannot resolve the problem, so it may appeal to regional trial court, and if the decision of the regional trial court is questionable, so it may appeal to Court of Appeals, and the Court of Appeals will seek a review over the cases, and if the appellant questions the decision of Court of Appeals, so it may appeal to Supreme Court, and if the Supreme Court finds that there is something wrong, so it has its final decision, so it will not break the decision of the Supreme Court. Next is Rule 1110. So Rule 1110 talks about how offense prosecution of an offense, criminal offense. It talks about the preliminary investigation on how complaints are filed, like talks about the affidavit of complaint, the complainant, and the prosecutor will order to the respondent to file his counter affidavit in order to make sure that there is probable cause, and that the information will fit file in court. So that's all. Thank you.